president ultimately continue to demand that I choose him over the Constitution. So in this moment, irrespective of how this case plays out, I want the American people to know that I believe with all my heart, by God's grace, I did my duty that day. And as I stand for the Republican nomination for president, I want them to know, whatever it means to me, I'll always stand on the Constitution of the United States of America. Look, our country is more important than any one man. Our Constitution is more important than any one man's career. And that's true of me, and that's true of the president, former president of the United States. So we're going to stand on the facts, and we're going to stand by what happened that day, the stand that we took, and trust ourselves to the judgment of Republican voters and ultimately the American people.
The statewide near-total abortion ban is still in legal limbo. What are your thoughts regarding this?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear.
So the state's near-total abortion ban is still in legal limbo. What are your thoughts regarding this issue?
Well, I'm pro-life. I don't apologize for it. And I couldn't be more grateful.
All right, you're listening there to former Vice President Mike Pence. Of course, his actions on January 6th and what he chose not to do very much at the heart of this indictment last night of former President Donald Trump. Pence, by the way, there in Indianapolis talking about the economy, that he was asked about the indictment, specifically about a conversation that he had with President Trump, and also whether the former president should be indicted. Very interesting, because previously in this case, when it comes to the January 6th case that the special counsel is investigating, he had said very recently that he thought the conduct was reckless but not criminal. Again, reiterating here that he feels that former President Trump put himself above the Constitution and that is disqualifying for a candidate for president. So he's saying here that the 45th president, Donald Trump, should be disqualified from running for president. But he also said that he had hoped it wouldn't come to this, that he wanted this left to the American people, obviously, to determine there as they vote ahead in the election. Of course, Pence, a rival of Donald Trump's in that election, though he is polling significantly behind the former president. Trump, meanwhile, is scheduled to be in court tomorrow after federal prosecutors charged him with 4 separate counts in this indictment, all related to his attempt to hold on to power after the 2020 election. It's a 45-page indictment that says Trump, quote, enlisted co-conspirators to assist him in his criminal efforts. It repeatedly references 6 unindicted co-conspirators. CNN has been able to identify 5 of those 6. They are former Trump lawyers Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, and Sidney Powell, also former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark, and pro-Trump lawyer Kenneth Chesebro. CNN's Caitlin Polance is outside of the federal court. We have our Evan Perez here in studio with us. Evan, to you first. Let's talk about these charges that Trump is facing, and then we'll kind of go back to something that Pence said, but take us through these charges.
Well, we know these 4 charges, right, which are the ones that, frankly, match what he was warned about in his target letter. And really, what prosecutors do in this 45-page document is they lay out that the former president has every right to challenge the election result, to go to court and challenge those results.